So here we are in episode 2 of Arguing with God. As you can see on the screen, that is the summary of what episode 1 contained. That a leaf sheep is cute. See, here's the leaf sheep. And because a leaf sheep is cute and at the bottom of the ocean, there must be a God to view it, and there must have been a God to want it. Okay, because a mindless nature wouldn't make something cute. It wouldn't matter. All right? You can appreciate cute. You can laugh. You can appreciate beauty. Therefore, you have a mind that thinks. Therefore, your parent is also a mind that thinks. And the ultimate parent has to be God. Now, which kind of God? Of all the bazillion versions of God that people talk about? Well, that's another journey. But does a God of some form exist? Must be true, because a leaf sheep is cute. All right? I wish the real theologians would talk about this kind of stuff, but they can't think their way out of a paper bag. Next, your soul has a love-hate relationship with God. That's what I'm going to focus on in this audio. Excuse me. Number 3 in the first episode was, sooner or later you wonder why life is repetitive and banal. I'll cover that in future episodes. And number 4, so if God exists, why did you make me like this? And we're going to focus on that one also in this episode. That turns out to be Satan's argument, and I'll cover it again. But right now we're looking at 2 and 4. Now this screen is going to stay static. Okay? I show my face, but the cancer makes my face look like I've been stung by 1,000 bees, and I would be horrible to look at. So you're going to have to look at the screen instead, okay? So let's talk more about 2 and 4. Your soul has a love-hate relationship with God. That's proof that God exists. Because if there was no God, why would you have a love-hate relationship with the idea of God? Now, there's a guy named Anselm back in the year 1000 who made an argument like this, but he was kind of too dumb to live, and he didn't carry his thought pattern out as far as it should go. His basic idea was that if you can conceive of God, then God must exist. His argument was you can't conceive of something that can't exist. Well, that's essentially true. Because God can conceive of anything and can will it to exist. So if God wanted pink polka-dotted ponies, they would exist. They don't exist because he doesn't want them. Well, now think about that. You exist because he wants you. If he didn't want you, you wouldn't be here. Well, what do you do with that information? On the one hand, it sounds really good. Oh, God must love me, yeah. But then you think about that. There's this big God who you can't do anything for, and he loves you. And you feel bad because you feel like you should reciprocate. But obviously you can't. So that makes you feel bad. So you feel good and you feel bad about the idea of God all at once because he's God and you're not. So you want to argue with yourself over whether God exists in order to get rid of the bad feeling you got about the idea of God. Doesn't that make sense? If something makes me feel bad, I want to do something to get rid of the bad feeling. That's normal. Understand this. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say in this second episode. It's normal to argue with God. It's normal to argue with yourself or others about the idea of God. That's normal. You would not be a normal human being if you didn't do that. Why is it normal to argue? Well, think again about the idea of God. He must love me or I'd not be here. Good, that's nice. But I can't do anything in return. That's not nice. That's why the woman sinned in the garden, because she was there, she was with a man she loved, and she knew God, the way he appeared to them using some kind of, visible mechanism. But she loved God too, but she was lowest on the totem pole and she couldn't do anything. So she started to feel bad about being inferior. Satan played to that. So your feeling about being bad, about God being God and you not being God, him being big and you not being able to do anything to reciprocate, that's the same feeling the woman had in the garden. It's normal. It's normal to be intimidated by somebody bigger than you. Okay? So it's normal to argue about it. Now here's the third part about what's normal. All right? And that's 2 and 4 now together, because why did you make me like this, God, so I'm so inferior? Because God made pee. You have to pee. Why did God make pee? It's humiliating to pee. It's humiliating that the same organ that you use for sex, you have to use for pee. Why did God do that? God made me, God loves me, oh, that's nice. Okay, but why did you make me so inferior, and why is it so humiliating to be human? See, I can't reciprocate. I feel bad. I can't find a way to make myself feel better. So now I'm going to look at the negative, which is, God, why did you make me like this? So I can't reciprocate. And on top of that, it's humiliating to be a human being. I have to eat. I have to pee. I have to breathe. I have to sleep. I have to dress. I have to do all of these activities, which is 90% banal. That's number 3. And they have nothing to do with God. Why did you make me like this, God? And here's the pièce de résistance on it. All right? God's answer is going to be, in many answers actually, but the first answer is, you are free. Oh yeah? I have to pee. How free is that? Okay? God's first answer is, you are free. I made you free. Oh yeah, you made me free, but I'm humiliated all the time. I'm dependent. I'm free, but I'm dependent on everything. I even have to pee. Why couldn't excretion come through my pores? Because a lot of animals, that's how it works. They don't have to pee. Well, not animals, but insects. They don't have to excrete. There are certain animals and organisms in the universe and on Earth that they don't have to pee. Any excretion goes through their skin. Why aren't you like that? Oh, I have to pee. Oh, then I'm not free, am I? See, those are all arguments, aren't they? But look at the answer. If you are truly made free by God, as God contends, then it is not normal for you to want God. What's normal for you to want would be food, shelter, clothing, a little toss in the bed with your favorite lover. Okay? Those are normal things. And who made them that way? God did. It is not normal for you to want God. It's not normal for you to know God. It's not normal for you to obviously be God, or to want anything He wants, or to have His standards. It would not be normal for you to want to be good. It wasn't normal for the two in the garden either. They were interested in each other. God created them that way. So they were totally independent of Him. They had a totally independent life. Yes, they were low, and yes, they had to pee, but God made pee enjoyable. Why do you make it enjoyable? He made it enjoyable to be apart from Him. He made it enjoyable to be independent of Him. He made it enjoyable to not want Him. Why? Because then you really are free. Then you really are independent of Him. You're not independent of everything, but you are independent of Him. Now, why did He do that? We'll talk more about this in the next episode. How do I turn this off?